Hello my villagers. Today we're going to be looking at what is the most pointless formable nation in all of EU4. We are going to look at where we can find this nation, how to form it, and why it is so pointless compared to so many of the other formables in EU4. Now without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. First thing that we have to address is I chose the nation of Hsenwi over here in Indochina. Pretty much you just have to be any of these nations with Shan culture over here. They all start out with Shan ideas, so there's already one reason not to form Shan, with Shan traditions featuring chance of a new heir plus 50%, max promoted cultures, and 15% manpower recovery speed when you finish their ideas. You also get fort defense, production efficiency, national unrest, domestic trade power, land leader shock and looting speed, legitimacy, and more manpower. Some of the early game stuff that we're going to do is of course just rival some of the nations that rivaled us, but go ahead and get this knocked out. As Hsenwi here, we do start as a tributary under Ava, unlike Mao, who's actually a tributary state under the Ming. So we could literally attack any of the guys actually needed to form Shan. In order for us to actually form the nation of Shan, we just have to own all these provinces here that are highlighted in purple, pink, which pretty much you guys get to see. I mean, if we start as Hispa, we actually own immediately one of the provinces that we need. And playing as Hsenwi, we also start out with one of the provinces that we need immediately right here. I'm also going to go ahead and delete this horse because he is way too expensive. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and hire the free company, though it will put us over a 4 summit. We'll actually end up making just slightly bit more money. I also recommend taking that one of your 2 merchants that you actually have over here, setting him to hostile trading, get that spy network built up, then one down here to Siam to collect trade, and we'll do improved relations with all these guys down here. Also going to try and do this without having any allies as well too. We'll see how long that lasts. I did get pretty lucky with my nobility officer rights. I actually got a pretty good general who's a 4-4-1-1, so good siege, good shock phase. I'll take it. So far it's looking like our very first war here is actually going to be against Mong Yang here, which is very unfortunate because they're the only ones that have a fort on their capital. Meanwhile, Hispa over here is actually allied to Mong Kong and also Lana. Lana, despite being a little 5 province minor over here, very strong nation with actually a good amount of development in this region, very consolidated. It could actually field, I think it's up to like 14 or 15,000 troops. So yeah, we're not messing with those guys. Instead, we're going to focus on Mong Yang, and then we're going to invade Mong Kong so we could get to Hispa. I finally took their capital here just in time because now both Mong Kong and Hispa are actually invading Mong Yang. We're just going to go ahead, of course, full annex these guys. We're going to fabricate a claim on both Kale and Mong Kong here, and we're pretty much going to get right into a war against these guys, calling in both Kale and Hispa. Luckily, I actually have this fort here, so that's going to block a lot of troop movement, especially into these lands over here up by Mong Kong. The only issue is going to be Kale and Hispa should be able to actually move their troops through Ava because they are a tributary overlord. So there's going to be some good troop movement down here in the south, but up in the north, at least I have that fort, though it does not cover this one province here. And I mean, we're fighting some of these tough battles early on, but we have a really good general, and that is not a problem at all. In fact, I should be able to just begin carpet sieging these guys now. Yep, stack wipe Hispa's army. Then the guy here, which this is my free company, which is completely out of manpower right now. Have them siege down this province, and then we're going to go up here into Mong Kong, beat up their army again. Oh, they're coming for my 1 stack. No! Come on, get there, get there. And my 1 stack died. But at least we won that battle. And we're going to stack wipe Kale. Eat your greens, buddy. Eat them greens. I ended up hiring the Tonkinese army down here in this province. They're my free company got stack wiped, unfortunately. But these guys start out with a general as well, and they have 4K troops. So, I mean, it's just nice to have these guys, honestly. Finally, I got Hispa's capital, which means now I can beat up on these guys. Stupid Ava. There we go. Alright, now I could go ahead and focus on just carpet sieging both of these guys down. And like that, we already own most of the land that we actually need over here to form Shan. Also complete expand Hsenwi, get even more permanent claims, and we also have a couple little missions here. Actually, if we subjugate these guys, that's interesting. Okay, so there's actually an alternative. I feel like if you actually annex Ava here, you'll just straight up inherit a lot of these guys over here. Okay, that's interesting. That's something I actually did not know. We're starting to get a little bit of a coalition here. Pretty much just all the other tributary state guys over here. I think we'll be okay. Famous last words, but I think we'll be okay. I'm going to do a quick little war against Manipur over here, which does give me a border with Bengal. Could be a good or a bad thing. We'll see. Yeah, we're just going to do this super fast war. I don't think Manipur, you know, since I'm a whole mil-tech ahead of these guys, this shouldn't be a problem. I mean, I did say no allies, but Ayutthaya is wanting to be our friend, and I mean, honestly, who could say no to Ayutthaya? And I mean, because I allied them, everybody just left the coalition immediately, which is just funny. Oh man, they're just so scared of this guy. My boy Tangu over here just expanded into my province region area. I was about to invade him, but now I see Lan Na got involved, and that's probably not going to happen. So instead, I'm currying favors with Ayutthaya. I'm going to see if I can't get Pegu. I would love to get these guys as a subject. Actually, Pegu is a very strong nation in the start here. Also, Bengal just got absolutely whooped by Orissa at the start here. If you guys have not seen my Orissa video, this might be the most underrated nation in all of India. Nobody plays as them. They start with an amazing general, tons of claims on Bengal, and yeah, they have very good ideas. You know, we're about 13 years into the game. I'm going to start declining my tributary obligations to Ava here. Pretty much just one more. They'll break tributary status. I got the favors with Ayutthaya, and I could go ahead and invade them, you know, basically immediately after, because I won't have a truce with them. And immediately afterwards, we can actually form the nation of Shan. Within 13 years of the game, I probably could have done it 2 years earlier, but right now I'm like consolidating and actually nation building right now. Lowering autonomy and things, dealing with rebels, occurring favors, and also trying to be opportunistic as much as possible. First, I need to mention we have the mandala system because we're playing in Indochina. This one's not bad. We could actually concentrate development from different lands. Whenever we pillage somebody's capital, we actually get the majority of that development actually in our capital without any losses. We also get more income from vassals and vassal force limit contribution. Now we do have a unique one, which is the Uparaja secession here. I don't really care for this one at all. I mean, honestly, your best bet is going to be either strength and noble privileges, noble officer corps, or if you're really struggling with your nobility and their influence, doing curtail noble privileges is also a good option. For this run, I'm going to go with noble officer corps. And there we go. They finally broke our tributary status, and we do not have a truce with these guys. So I'm just going to go straight into invading Ava. But first, let me make sure I mark these all as provinces of interest before Ayutthaya gets any bright ideas. I'm also a whole mil-tech ahead of these guys. I'm at 5, they're at 4. This should honestly be an easy stack wipe right here. Yep, there we go. Got an okay air. In the middle of that, a 660. I didn't even realize my old guy actually died. Alright, with Lan Cheng completely out of the way, me getting actually a good amount of money where I could pay off a couple loans here. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead full annex Ava. Means we're gonna inherit all their tributaries. Now this is where it gets a little bit interesting. I think I could complete that mission, right? No, because well, you're my subject. You're my subject. So if I ally you, theoretically, I can. There we go. Wow, that was that was fast. Okay. So yeah, we are now the Shan. Apparently we have 1 million armies spread out across our entire country right now. Also, I'm going to break this whole tributary thing with Angu. I don't need it right now. That was actually pretty nice. I didn't know that we could bypass things like that using this mission right here to just speed things up. So why is this nation actually the most pointless formable in all of EU4? It literally does nothing for you. You just simply become a kingdom, and that's it. You literally are just a kingdom now, and you go from a duchy to a kingdom, and You don't get different ideas. The only benefit really is now we have a couple more permanent claims, like this time on Tangu, and a couple provinces over here, but otherwise there's really not any other reason. And also too, in terms of mission tree stuff, literally nothing here. I mean, once we complete this by just simply taking out Tangu, we do get permanent claims on all of Burma, but like useless. I mean, it's literally just a reskin of whatever Shan nation you decide to play as these guys for. So where do we go from here? I mean, realistically, the only way that we can go from here is simply we're gonna go ahead and conquer the entirety of Burma, which I think, yeah, it's just the Burma region. So we're gonna conquer all of Burma. We're going to invade Bengal, and we'll see about conquering all of Bengal. And then from there, we're going to invade China. That's right, we're going to go for that mandate. Having CB at some point here. So then that way we can become the emperor, pretty much take over all of China. So my starting ruler finally died, so we got the Rise of Pretender event. I realized something, we got an absolutely horrendous heir. We gotta get rid of this guy like ASAP. I refuse to have this guy. So if you don't want to continue to play as Shan, you're in luck, because our culture is actually within the Siamese culture group, which actually means that you could go ahead and form Siam if you really wanted to. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of a big war against Tangu here. Lan Cheng is actually like 2 militechs behind everybody over here. So realistically, it's just gonna be Tangu, who I'm going to wipe out right away, and Lana, who are like the main threats in this war. Oh, and Arakan. An actually very important battle right here between me, Tangu, and Arakan over here. Both of these guys are behind me in terms of Miltech, and man, does that show. Oh my god. Alright, let's, get a good stack wipe. Get that stack wipe. And, we're retreating one more province away. Come on. Stack wipe. Come on, guys. Man, there we go. Now I can finally siege these guys down. Okay, so luckily, because Lan Sheng is in this war, we're just going to take the province that we actually have a permanent claim on over here, which was Mon Mao's province. We're going to humiliate them, take a bunch of money, war reps. There we go. And as for Tangu and Arakan over here, which Arakan did get invaded by Orissa, and I am tempted to vassalize them and get plunged into a defensive war here. But honestly, I'm just going to full annex both of these guys. Yeah, it's going to give us a bit more of a coalition. I don't care. We're expanding, and we're expanding very, very well right now. And all of a sudden now, because I own basically all of lower Burma, upper Burma, I can now get permanent claims on the rest of the Burmese region, which pretty much just means Hagu and Chittagong from Orissa. And I've done so much expansion in the early game here that our admin is just, it's garbage. I mean, there's no other way around it. Our admin or Diplo is absolute garbage. So I'm going to go ahead and start focusing on admin. As you guys can see, we're going to be gaining 13 admin a month here. Just so that way I could get caught up. Hopefully pick up some ideas, which idea-wise, I don't even know what really to pick up for these guys. Now that's more like it. Instead of a 0-1-0, we got a 6-6-3. I'll take that any day. Ming currently has like very low mandate, 30%. And they're at war with Oirat, which, I mean, it's an easy war for them, but they're almost out of manpower. So I'm very, very tempted. Probably in the next couple of years here, I might actually invade Ming. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and invade Orissa, calling in both Ayutthaya and Jaunpur. Though my allies are going to be doing all the work on them, they're actually not my main target. My main target here is actually going to be the nation of Pegu, who is a tributary under Ayutthaya, my ally. They are allied to Dai Viet, unfortunately, but I should be able to go ahead and actually full annex these guys right under Ayutthaya's nose. Never mind, I'd have to break that alliance while I'm in this war with them. What I can do instead, however, is actually invade Lana, because Ayutthaya is in this war with me, so they won't be able to join against me. Alright, my war with Orissa here is going to be over. I vassalized their ally of Assam up here. I want to take over a good portion of this area over here. And they have a good amount of claims. I'm gonna go ahead and take the province of Chittagong. We get a little bit of a coalition. Maybe Ming gets involved, maybe they don't. I mean, to kind of remedy that, I could always hire like a Diplo rep guy. That'll definitely prevent Ming from ever joining a coalition against me. So, and yeah, we're gonna just chill a little bit. I want to pick up my first idea group. I'm also gonna keep an eye on this war that Ming started against Chagatai here, and they have no manpower. Ming drops below 30,000 troops with no manpower, we're just going for it at that point. But for right now, yeah, we're gonna stabilize Shan, and then we're gonna start looking towards Ming to start beating on them. As I mentioned earlier, we're just gonna go for quantity. We're gonna stack up the ideas that Shan has with manpower recovery speed and national manpower. So yeah, we're about to have a ton of troops. Tier 3 government reform, we're gonna go with the corvée system. If you guys haven't watched my video on Tangu or even Ayutthaya down here, the corvée system idea is actually very, very useful in EU4. Anytime that you build a barracks, training fields, dock, or dry docks, you actually get an additional 1,000 manpower just instantaneously. I'm gonna launch a super quick war against both Sadia and also Koch over here, Koch. They're part of those provinces of interest that I do want in this region, so it works out in my favor. Then all we really have to do is just beat up on Bengal, and that's my expansion out westwards. And then all I have to focus on is just strictly China, which I know I keep hyping up, but I promise you, it's only 1482, but we're going to be invading China, I promise. I'm going to go ahead and invade Lansheng here, calling it Ayutthaya. And this will, in fact, call in Ming, who has no manpower whatsoever. This is actually more so I could actually take money from China. Because right now, Ayutthaya would not help me out at all against these guys. I mean, maybe I could actually see if I could get them to reduce their opinion of Ming. I mean, if that's the case, I'm just going to straight up attack Ming. Otherwise, oh yeah, actually, that might be a possibility. Let's give it a month. Okay, never mind. We're going for take mandate of heaven, CB, and we're gonna take as much land as possible. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I got my army got their butts whooped up here in Yunnan, so I'm gonna end up taking out some loans, and we're gonna start hiring some mercs, just to start, get the troops that we need to actually beat up on Ming. Luckily, Ayutthaya does have some manpower, but so far, me and Ming both do not have really the manpower to sustain a long-lasting war. The only difference is that, of course, Ming has the economy to do so. And I'm not going to say that this region over here is not the best economically, but as I pointed out earlier, our development's not really that high. So yeah, we're not making a lot of money. Okay, so Ayutthaya got pieced out, but I got Beijing, I got Nanjing, and the province of Yunnan here. We're going to be taking almost 3,000 ducats from these guys, and honestly, I'm hoping that just straight up jump starts our economy right there, and hopefully ruins the entire Ming economy as well. And I will say, it is honestly very nice, to actually be able to build buildings all of a sudden, even if it's only just a limited amount. It's still something. I'm also going to start deving for Renaissance in the province of Ava. I have a ton of admin and Diplo points. It's almost 1,500. We desperately need to get Renaissance before colonialism spawns in about 10 years. So, funny enough, I just embraced the Renaissance, and that actually put us as a great power. And we're not that far off from both England and Aragon. Really wish that I could actually see Europe right now, so I could get a good idea of what the heck is actually going on over there. That Aragon is actually a great power right now. This is a little trick that I've learned about institution spread throughout the years. So in our case, we have the Renaissance, as I've mentioned at this point. Now, let's say that I don't want Ming to get it, because obviously Ming, I don't want them to get too powerful. I go to diplomatic feedback, set myself to hostile towards them, and it actually prevents any spread of the institution from getting to their provinces at all. Granted, I mean, you could do the same thing with, let's say Lansheng here. It's not going to spread there. Bengal. which I'm hostile towards already. Same thing, let's do it with Pagu. Then this way, none of these guys get the institution. I am selling it to Ayutthaya, so that does kind of bypass some of this stuff, but that's also because I want to make some additional money. Alright, so it's finally second idea group time. We're just going to pick up admin ideas. Okay, so Ming just passed another mandate reform, so they're at 20 mandate right now. We're going to go ahead and invade these guys. Ayutthaya, take mandate to heaven. Hopefully this goes a lot better than last time. We are actually also one whole mill tech ahead of these guys as well. Just, you know, I haven't invested in any of my ideas because we've been playing catch up the entire game too, so don't really have any bonuses towards my manpower or my troops really at all. At least now I can afford advisors, so at least I got a discipline guy, plus we're Buddhist, so we get extra discipline, so we're at 110% discipline on the Ming. And I mean, compared to that first war, we've already knocked down Ming to negative manpower. I've stack wiped them once. And of course, Ayutthaya is feeling a lot better about this war than they did the last time, so this is going way better than I expected, to be honest with you. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and beat up on Ming's army a couple more times just to get them below 50,000 troops, and then I'm gonna do the cheesy strat that I did on my Qing campaign, where I formed Qing by 1480 and own all of China by then as well, which is basically we're just gonna repeatedly truce break China for all of our cores. There we go. They're down to 4K troops. What can I say? There we go. We're gonna take mandate and over 3,000 ducats. Perfect. So now we are the Emperor of China, and we're just gonna repeatedly truce break these guys. Now, why am I gonna do that? Aren't you gonna suffer a ton of AE? Yes and no. I mean, you know, if you use the Unified China CB here, as long as you occupy these provinces, they actually become cores, so you can actually take a ton of Chinese land very quickly without, you know, really suffering any aggressive expansion at all. Plus it's Chinese and Confucian, so nobody really cares at all if you just constantly are doing that. Now you may be asking yourself, now Chairman, what do you mean you have cores on China? I mean, I just see claims here with a couple cores here. Well, you see, every single time that you occupy one of these provinces, like this one here, it's just a claim. They actually occupy it, and now it becomes a core. It's going to cost us almost nothing to go ahead and take that province. Oh, would you look at that? The Jiangzhou actually formed Manchuria. Oh, that's interesting. Wonder how that's actually going to impact everything over here. And now the Manchu are invading China. Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, they don't have any claims over here other than like up here north, but yeah, they're definitely going to take a lot of land, especially because Ming has only 13k guys. And bam, in one war we went ahead and took over pretty much almost the entire Xinan region here in southern China. And yeah, we only have to core 2 of these provinces. And all this, I mean, yeah, granted, we're going to have to state all this up, which does then cost me all that admin. But hey, it's cheaper than having to go ahead and core all this stuff up first and then state it all up. Well, would you look at that? That's going to make things a lot easier. Let's go ahead and do our reconquest war on these guys, I guess, so we can just full annex them with no problem at all. Alright, so this is what our game is looking like in the year 1522. Shun is there, Manchu's here, Ming is starting to really ramp up the explosions. You know, India is pretty consolidated, Indochina is pretty consolidated. But honestly, I'm thinking that this is about where we are going to go ahead and leave it off for today. So far, been a pretty good campaign, especially as like a nation that really, again, doesn't really have any advantages of forming them at all. And because we've been sucking in terms of tech for like most of the game, my ideas like are just non-existent pretty much. And so it's not even like I could really utilize like half of these ideas. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments if you guys think that Shan is a formidable nation that is in fact worth it. Or, you know, what you guys actually think about this country. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.